Thank you, Mr. Graham. You may leave now.
Thank you very much.
She doesn't want to touch.
Yes.
Thank you, counsel. You may call the witness.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I recall Mr. Balajasi. Kindly inform his counsel, Mr. Bay. Can the witness? Mr. Jassy, can we start with what you were asked to produce the last time? You have sent in some copies of certificates which you have sent me copies of certificates.
Yes, I forwarded them to my counsel when I
Yes,
was.
we informed your counsel that you'll be required to bring the original so we can compare them.
Then I will be, when I'm back, I can only bring them back because I left them in Europe.
You?
I left them with me in Europe. I did not come with them.
Sorry, may I address the commission on that issue? Mr. Chairman, I want to address the commission on that issue about the submission of the original certificates of Mr. Jassy. We only received an email on Friday notifying us that he needed to submit the original documents. By that time, he was already in the Gambia. He was summoned to testify on certain issues. He came and then he was notified afterwards that he was required to provide those documents. By that time, he was in the Gambia. But we'll try and make arrangements to deliver it to the commission. Thank you.
Yes, Counsel, what's your reaction?
Yes, since my learned friend has indicated that they will make arrangements, I will not belabor the point. However, this witness had been informed months ago that he needed to produce his certificates. What he produced were photocopies, not even certified copies, just photocopies of certificates. And I assume that well, my learned friend must be aware that the commission would require to see original documents or certified documents. That is why he was informed, since he was coming, to bring his originals. One always assumes that a person would have the originals of his certificates at all times. But in any event, since he's given an undertaking to make arrangements, for the time being, I leave the matter at that.
Very well, it's not too late.
We're most grateful.
I say it's not too late. So another time it will be brought. Okay?
As indicated in the mail, we don't want to keep your certificates. We just need to compare the originals with the copies that you have provided.
Ma'am, I'm not hearing properly. I had audition problem.
All right. Anyway, it was more for the benefit of your lawyer, really. But you can hear me now?
Yeah,
Can you hear me now?
yeah. I can hear better.
Okay. You are wearing a hearing aid?
Yes, but
Okay.
the space
All
is
right.
quiet.
I'll try to speak slowly so you can follow the
There's
proceedings.
a lot of echo. I have to cancel.
Mr. Jassy,
Yeah.
Mobicel Blue transferred the sum of $3,642,000 United States dollars to TK Exports in Dubai for the benefit of the president. Is that correct?
To my knowledge, it was not.
Is that correct?
No, ma'am. To my knowledge, it was not for the benefits of the president.
Okay. Why did you transfer $3,642,000 United States dollars from your guaranteed trust bank account number 901-10015-002-5033 to TK Exports? Did you transfer it at the request of the president?
At the request of who?
Ex-President Jammeh.
Not directly, through his orderlies, yes. I went to 2 to 3 conversations with one of his orderlies. And one of his orderlies. And the second person to engagement on that was the then Chief of Protocol, Sanajay.
What is the name of this orderly that you...
I could not recall
Talk to.
because when he called me, he addressed me in initials. I don't know, LB or BD, something like that, but I could recall the B was very, 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 very persistent and constant when he was addressing me.
Okay, let's take it a step at a time. So you confirm that at the request of the President, you transferred $3,642,000 United States dollars to TK Export.
Not at the request of the President, because I did not have any direct communication with him. I was engaged by his orderly, I said one of the orderlies. And that has to be, I would say, it takes 3 conversations between the orderly and myself, and that was probably within a period of 2 weeks. It was not at a spot. I tried not to fulfill.
Mr. Jassy,
Yes?
for whose benefit did you transfer this sum?
According to the orderly,
For whose benefit did you transfer $3,642,000 United States dollars?
according to my understanding, it was in the name of the Gambian government. Because when the orderly was talking to me, he made it very clear that it was a loan in the name of the Gambian government. He didn't tell me it was in the name of the former president.
An orderly. Whose orderly, by the way, were you talking?
The former president orderly,
The former president's orderly
yes.
called you and told you the Gambia government wanted a loan.
I think it is a translation
Please
of
answer the
message.
question. You are
Yes,
saying the orderly called you
Yes.
and told you the Gambia government wanted a loan.
It was not at the initial stage. When he engaged me, we had 2 to 3 discussions, and my position was I don't have such kind amount of money in my account. And
Firstly, Mr. Jassy, let's be clear as to whose benefit you made this transfer before we go into details of the transaction.
during all the process of my communication with the orderly and Sanajaju, it was very clear to me, made clear to me that it was in the benefit of the Gambian government.
How did the orderly contact you
He called me on my cell phone.
and
From-
told you exactly what?
The first phone call, when I got it, I was away. I was traveling back, and I was in Brussels. I was about to pick up a call for Paris. He called me, and we worked on their system, so I recognized the number. I thought it was a technical issue. I picked up the phone, and then he told me, I'm calling you from the residence of the president, but I'll call you later. I told him I'm taking a flight that will probably last 1 hour, 20 minutes. So, and I'm about to cross the security, so if you can call me in 2 hours, it's better for me. Then 2 hours later, he rang me. I was at my hotel. He told me, okay.
Which
I
hotel?
Yes,
Which hotel?
in Radisson Blue. Radisson Blue in Paris, at the first arrondissement.
In Brussels.
Pardon?
Did you say in Brussels?
No, I boarded the flight from Brussels to Paris. I was boarding a flight from Brussels to Paris.
Okay. You were in your hotel.
Pardon?
Carry on.
Yes, then when he called me again, the second time, he engaged me. Not directly. I got a message for you. The then president would like you to help them. I said, help. And I did ask him, how do you know that I have such amount of money? He said, his answers to me was very straight. We are here in the Gambia. Even at the banks, we have our elements. I can tell you about it. And I told him, can you confirm to me, do I have such amount of money in my account at now? He said, no. We know that the amount is not there, but you can help us. Then I put off the phone. The following day again, he called me. We had a lengthy conversation, and I told him, I'm going to see what I can help. I'm expecting some payments. If they come, I will do something. By then, I consulted my family and my wife as well, just to confirm whether it is not something that will have to do later with my life or not. And the last call he gave me was not a nice one. I don't need to repeat those words, but he was telling me, I think the best thing for you is to do it or you don't come back to the Gambia. I told him, once I'm back on the ground,
This is the Audley still talking to you?
yes, the Audley.
Whose name you can't remember now?
I don't know. It is,
No,
he
go on.
spoke to me in initials, LB or BG, something like that, to be honest with you. But those who are familiar with the setup there should be able to know. He didn't give me his full name. He just told me LB or BG, something like that.
Yeah, carry on.
Yes. Then I told him, once I'm back in the Gambia, I'll see what I can do. Then 2 weeks later, I flew back. When I came, he called me again and told me, let me convey this message to you. The former president said, this is going to be a loan. It's not a personal assistance he's seeking from you or your company. It's going to be a loan to purchase Vision 2016 agricultural materials. He was expecting some funds which are not forthcoming. And then if you could help, it will be very of a great assistance to the nation. And I told him, I will see. Then the following day, he called me again. This time I told him, it will not be something that will happen now, because I'm expecting some payment. All what I have in an account is about $1.2 or $1.3 million. I'm expecting some payments. Once we receive them from the company, I'll be able to help. And then when I engaged him about the paperwork, he told me the paperwork will be taken care of. I said, I need a sort of document to prove to me that this is going to be a loan. He said, I will convey your message to the then president. And that was the last time I spoke to him. The following day, I got a call from Sana. And he told me, I was trying to chase you, but you were away. I said, yes.
By Sana, you mean Sana Jaju?
Sana Jaju, the then chief of protocol
at the time?
Yes.
Carry on.
Yes, and I told him the time you were calling me, I was boarding a flight. That's why I couldn't communicate to you. And when you engaged me, I told you it was not feasible. But I got persistent calls from the orderly, and I promised to him that I would see what I can do from my company. And a few days later, Sana called me again. Before Sana, the orderly called me again. I said, okay, we got our payments. I will see what we can do. And I would say 2 hours later, Sana called me to tell me I got an instruction directly from the then president for us to meet at GTB and effect the payment. These were his words, and I just left the office, went to the bank, found him on the stairs. So we went together to the managing director's office, Mr. Bolaji. And that was where he pulled out an envelope from which I saw a kind of invoice and some element related to the equipment to be bought. But I've never been shown anything before. And when I asked Sana, the invoice is not in our name. How can we do the transaction? Because in banking transaction, you need to have those kind of details. And he said, no, everything is transferred in the name of Mobicel Blue Ocean.
He said?
Everything is in the name of Mobicel Blue Ocean. The invoice sent by Tariq Musa, I've never communicated to him. He never knew my company. But for the fact that I was communicating with the orderly, probably that's where they took the company name. And I saw an invoice which was not given to me, just the amount, to read the amount. I read the amount and then signed the transfer document in the office of the managing director. That was time I heard about this, and we had to leave. They went with everything back again. Since then, nobody contacted me about this. We just got what we call generated electronic notification by email to say that our account had been debited of $3.641,000. Since then, nobody engaged me, and I've never been paid back that money. I've never set my eyes on the equipment we purchased, in fact, only when I was engaged by the investigation team to realize that the goods are here.
I'm going to show you exhibit, just for the record, exhibit BB 128A.
Yeah.
Which seems to be a transaction, which is a transaction documents from your account with Guaranty Trust Bank. Kindly confirm that this is the transfer that was made.
Yes, I can confirm this is transaction document on the 25th of June.
Mr. Jassy, were you given any document from government?
Pardon?
Were you given any document from the government?
As I said, I've never received any document.
Were you given any document from the Office of the President?
Not at all.
Did you receive any kind of request?
Any?
Any kind of request in writing from the government?
Not at all.
Did you write afterwards to confirm that this transaction was done?
No, I think my two contacts, the Audley and Sanajaju, I do not have such relationship with them. And the system at OP, they can call you, but you cannot call back. Only the extension number do appear, but you don't know the number.
You worked at the Office of the President on this system.
Yes, we did.
You had access to the Secretary General. Is that
not
correct? You
on-
had access to the Secretary General. Is that correct?
On occasions, not always, except if they call me for a meeting. I don't walk into the
If you
Secretary General.
wanted to see the Secretary General at any time,
No,
you
it
can
has-
make an appointment.
It has
to
never
see-
been the case.
Can
never.
you listen to my questions, please?
Yes.
How do you get your payments at the Office of the President?
We always send correspondence in if we have to request for a payment. And in general, those correspondents, they do go.
How do you receive your payments from the Office of the
My
President?
payments are generally transferred to us by one Nuha Ture, the Secretary to the Cabinet, who do write payment orders, and we are given a copy to make a follow-up with our bank.
That's how you receive your payments.
Pardon?
When you make a request, when you submit, whether it's proposals, anything in, whether it's proposals or an invoice, who do you address it to?
By tradition, we do address it to the Secretary General. But it doesn't mean he's the only one who contacts us. So in most of cases, we deal with PS1 or Secretary to the Cabinet.
Either PS1, meaning the Permanent Secretary, Office of the President.
Yeah, we always see in our correspondence
By
written.
PS1, do you mean the Permanent Secretary, Office of the
Yes,
President?
sometimes they write PS1. That I believe that is the meaning.
You believe that's the meaning?
Yes.
Did you ever write, did you write after the 22nd? This transaction took place on what date? Can you tell us for the record?
On the 25th of June, 2015.
2015.
Yeah.
Did you write at any time to request for your money?
No, to be honest, I've never written. I was about to.
Did you discuss this loan with the Secretary General at the time?
No, never.
Did you discuss this loan with the Secretary to Cabinet at the time?
Never. I never did so.
Did you make an attempt to, or did you try to see the Ministry of Finance, since you believed that you were lending money to the government of the Gambia?
I think
Did you try to see the Ministry of Finance?
I've never dealt with them in the past. For me, the orderly and through the former president, through him he was communicating, told me they are going to take care of the paperwork.
Who was going to take care of the paperwork?
According to him, the office of the president.
The Audley.
Yes, he told me that on 3 counts they're going to take care of.
Mr. Jaju, I just want you, I'll show you exhibits BB 128A for you to confirm that it's a statement of your account at Guaranty Trust Bank, meaning the account of Mobicel Blue Ocean Limited at Guaranty Trust Bank. And I'd like you to look at your balance as of 22nd June 2015, and tell us where the inflows that made up the amount that was paid out by SWIFT transfer came from. Can you first confirm
Yeah, I just
whether
want to
that is your bank statement?
I want to use my glasses.
Is that the bank statement of Mobile Blue Ocean Limited?
Yes, I can confirm that this is the
Thank
state-
you. Now, what was the balance immediately before the 22nd June in your account?
It was about 1.2
Sorry?
1.2 million.
Can you repeat what you said?
22nd. Yeah, it was about 1.2 million.
The balance before the 1.2 million, what was it?
That was on 22nd of June. That was 125,572.
125,000
572
dollars.
dollars. Yes.
The first inflow, 1.2.
Yeah.
Where did it come from?
It came from MGI Swiss.
Okay. There's a second inflow again. What
Also-
was the date of the first inflow, please?
On the 22nd of June.
The date of the inflow of 1.2. 22nd June.
22nd June.
Thank you. The second inflow, there is a second inflow of 1.2.
The 23rd of June.
23rd.
Yeah.
How much is it?
1.21400.
Okay. Tell us about the third inflow that made up the 3.6 million.
Pardon?
The third inflow that made up the amount to 3.6 million. When did it come in?
The 1.2.
What date?
It came on the 24th of June.
I have 24, 22nd, 24th, and 25.
Yes.
All right. It came from where, those second and third inflows?
They came from MGI.
MGI Swiss.
Yes.
All right, can you collect the document? What did you inform MGI Swiss you were going to do with these monies?
Pardon?
What did you inform? What did you tell MGI Swiss?
I did not need to inform MGI about it because I was working on a project in Benin for them, which they were supposed to pay. And I think if we go through our accounts, we'll be able to provide those details. So it was anytime I provide them an invoice, we agreed on a payment according to the project progress report. So I do not have to contact the finance department to effect any payment. I only made a follow-up on the payment that were supposed to come in, hence I was under this pressure. But that has nothing to do with MGI.
So what you are saying is that this money is from Mobicel Blue Ocean?
Yes, it is from Mobicel Blue Ocean.
That's what you're saying?
Yes,
Where
and that's fact.
Can you provide us the invoices by tomorrow morning, the invoices that you submitted to MGI Swiss, which they paid for?
I will have to contact my finance guy, who is no longer here, to go through. We have a server through which all the project costs, cost of materials and professional charges
Did you close your offices?
since we
Did you
received.
close your offices, Mobicel
Yes,
Blue Ocean?
I
You
put it
closed
up.
your offices?
Yes.
They are no longer operating in the Gambia?
No.
The records?
Pardon?
What happened to your records?
They should have them, for sure. We have a server that we can put up and then get those invoices, for sure. But to be able to say that, to say that I will be able to provide them tomorrow morning, I might not be telling the truth, because we have to go through our records to be able
That's
to
fine.
see.
When can you provide them? Because you will need to be
Probably,
pressed for time.
I'll communicate through my counsel, and it could
No,
be
we
probably.
we need the invoices this week. You are a company operating in the Gambia. These are significant sums of money you have paid out. So we expect that you should be able to provide
We should be
these
able to
invoices
get
this
them.
week. This week.
We'll do our best. We'll do our best.
I have no further questions for Mr. Jassy. On this point, we have other witnesses.
Yeah. Mr. Jase, can you clarify what you just said? You were receiving payments in the Gambia for services you carried out in Benin.
Yes, we do.
And the sum of 3.6 that
Yeah.
was transferred to Dubai. How did it arrive? How did you arrive at the 3.6? Did the oddly give you the amount? Because it also sums up to the 3 payments that came from MGI Swiss. So where did the 3.6 figure come? Was it a random number that you gave or they gave you?
Who you mean by that?
Okay, let me explain again. You were being paid in the Gambia
Yes.
for services you carried out in Benin.
Yes.
And the transfer summed up to about 3.6.
Yes.
At the same time, the oddly from the Office of the President is requesting for an amount to that same, for an amount that is almost the same.
Yes.
Or exactly. So how did the number come about?
To be honest with
Is
you,
there a connection between the OP knowing how much you are receiving from Benin?
I said initially, the oddly told me they have even the agents at the bank. On the 22nd, we were having $1.2 million in our account. The inflow just came, I got his call. And that has nothing to do with the project. I didn't even know how much the invoice was. It was only after he told me. And I told him.
Did you confirm that with the managing director of the bank that
Of GTB?
that they have elements leaking confidential information?
I mean-
because you had no reason staying with that bank,
I mean-
let alone doing a transaction in the MD's office.
I'm sorry to say.
I am a banker,
Yeah.
so can you listen to me?
Yeah.
Did you confirm the veracity of that lie that they have elements in the bank? Yes or no?
I told him that in confidence, personally.
You asked the MD to confirm?
Yes.
He said yes.
Yes.
The
I
office
mean,
of the
he
president.
didn't say yes. His answer was kind of ambiguous.
Their own staff were leaking information to
Just
the office of the president.
Just to give you a sample, sometimes some people will call me to tell me, we want to change foreign exchange. We went to the bank, we were told we have foreign exchange.
You have been credited.
Yes. How would we know that?
Yeah, but that's different to telling you exact amount going into your account.
No, that's what I'm telling you. The officer told me, we know what is happening. That's all I can say. I did not even elaborate on that with him, but I did ask the MD, if this is the way people are conducting, I might leave your bank.
Did you leave the bank eventually? Did you close your account?
I would
because
say-
that was enough grounds to close your account.
Yes, it was a case between MD and some of the senior directors. We had a meeting about it.
And what was the outcome?
No, they tried to convince us to say, okay, you can stay around. We'll make sure we attach an individual to such kind of transactions.
So, Mr. Jase, you doing services in Benin and being paid in the Gambia,
Yeah.
it's because you didn't have an account in Benin?
No, I was not
What's the
supposed-
link? The
How-
Benin government allow you to perform services
They
up
do.
to 3.6 million there, and you get paid in the Gambia?
I was not dealing with the Beninese government. I was dealing with MGI.
You were dealing with MGI,
With MGI, yes.
and
were
they took
putting-
you there under their own umbrella.
Yes, they were putting...
Not Mobicel.
No, they were putting a gateway in place in Porto Novo.
Okay.
Yes.
And then the invoices were for services carried
Not
out in
for
Benin.
services only. We provided...
All right. You are going to provide us with the invoices.
Yes.
Can you tell me the narrative on this invoice that we are expecting?
They are all Cisco materials and tele switches.
Just materials and switches.
Yes, Cisco
There is
materials.
no narrative talking about services in Benin.
No, just setting up a gateway.
That's very easy to make up. I
I-
think it needs to be more specific.
When you see the invoice, you will see the narrative.
I don't need to see the invoices to see the narrative.
I'm sorry, these are
I'm
technical
asking
terms.
I am asking you
Yeah.
to tell me what is on the narrative.
I told you on the narrative we were setting up a gateway.
Did it reference anything about you providing services for MGI in Benin? And when I say you,
It
I
was
mean Mobicel Gambia.
Yes, Mobicel.
Mobicel
Yes,
Gambia.
yes.
Providing services for
Yes.
MGI in Benin.
Yes.
Because in Benin, there is no service provider for what you can do.
I wouldn't say MGI got the project and it was given to Mobicel. They have their own connection. I've never negotiated anything there.
So your narrative just says services and
Not
equipment.
services. When you see the invoice, you will see. They're all Cisco stuff.
Because you
will see
don't know
the
what
cost.
is in there. That's why I
I
have
know
to wait.
what it is in. I know what it is.
So
but
why are you asking me to wait?
it is the gateway. Do you want me to go to the technical terms?
I want you to tell me what is
Okay.
in
Once we provide the invoice, you will see.
That's because you don't know what is there.
I know what is there.
I don't think you
I
do.
set up a gateway, and a gateway, it entails a lot. You have the billing component, you have the switching,
Good.
you have the routing part of it.
All right. Mr. Jase,
Yeah.
I worked in the banking system for 24 years.
Yeah.
I know clients who had far more money in their account than you did. Why, of all the clients, you were targeted to help the government in the form of a loan? Did you owe this government any service that warranted you being called by an oddly head of security for the president or head of protocol, chief of protocol? What services did you owe this government that warranted them calling you, even escorting you to the office of the MD to effect such a transfer? There were other clients who were not subjected to it.
I think that question should be asked to the orderly. I was under
I'm
pressure.
asking you because you agreed to go in and sign.
I was under pressure. That's why I did it.
You were under
My
pressure.
life was at stake.
You were under pressure.
Yes.
Did you intimate that to the former managing director of GTB? In his office, you carried out the transaction.
I think he himself was aware of what was happening.
I don't believe there was any pressure. I think you did it willingly.
No, you cannot say that, sir.
Did you complain to the police or to any security that you were being harassed?
Who would have done that at that time?
Anybody who was doing anything right would have had the courage.
I said, at that time,
At the time, people who were doing clean business,
only few people will start today talking about that.
and
My
you
life
were,
was at
you were
stake.
not one of them.
I am a family man. I have no reason to stick to money and put my life at stake.
Did
that
you
was
have
the
reason to sign 3.6 million
Yeah.
going to Dubai for services you didn't know?
Hence, they have nothing to do with criminal activities.
So you did the transfer willingly.
No, I was under duress.
You were under duress.
Yes.
Of all the clients who had more than 3.6 million, you were targeted.
I wouldn't know.
And
I
you
only
willingly
know-
accepted
I-
to go to GT
I
Bank.
only know about myself. I
Did
wouldn't
they
know for
pick
the
you
others.
from your house?
Pardon?
Did they pick you from your house to take you to GT Bank?
Is it relevant to
You drove to GT Bank.
I did not drive willingly to GT Bank.
How did you
The
get there?
circumstance under which I went to GT Bank,
Who took you to GT Bank?
I walked from my office. I
You
didn't
walked
drive from my office along Caraba Avenue to GT Bank.
You walked from your office?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So you willingly went to GT
Not
Bank?
willingly. I was under duress, and what I was told, the guy told me clearly that day, you know what? You are Maninka. We know you people
you
don't
are
like
what?
this government. You are Maninka. You people don't like this government. You are lucky to be still around working here. If you don't do this, we're going to talk about something else. He just put off the phone.
This had something to do with your tribe?
Pardon?
You said Maninka. It had something to do with your tribe?
For him, yes, but that is no reason for me.
No, I'm asking to you.
Yeah.
Did it have anything to do with tribe?
He's the one who used that word.
Mr. Jase, do you understand the implications of giving this type of testimony? You willingly went to a bank, you signed the sum of 3.6 million to go to Dubai,
Yes.
to TK Exports. You never received any invoices
Yes.
for Mobicel
Yes.
from TK Exports. Someone else received it and you willingly signed to pay. You come here and you tell us it had something to do with you being Mandinka, that you were asked to pay.
I was never willing to sign this transfer. We had various communication before I agreed to it. And
When
for
you
me,
said you couldn't, they said it's a loan.
pardon? Yes.
Yes.
That-
Why
that-
didn't you say the company had no money to loan the
But
government?
I told him that.
The government goes to the central bank to raise treasury bills.
Even
to
in my
borrow.
statement, I made mention of that. I wrote it. I
And-
said it.
And
I told him I do not have such amount of money in my account.
you didn't have the money.
Yes.
And you didn't stick to your guns?
Pardon? I did.
They gave you the option to stay away from the country.
Yes.
Yes.
I think
Why did you choose to
I
give
have
away
my family
3.6?
here. I have my family here, and I have employees that are here. I have more reason to be around than being away.
Mr. Jaze, is it possible that you were acting as an intermediary between MGI Swiss and the former president?
That has never existed. I have never been an intermediary.
Mr. Jaze, when you were signing the 3.6, was it because you had full knowledge that if you didn't pay this money,
Yeah.
quote unquote, that they're saying you should loan them,
Yeah.
there were consequences?
Yes.
Yes. And what was the consequences? You
Probably-
defaulting on something that you are obliged to pass on.
Probably I would have lost my life.
And the loss of life was possible, but you were also defaulting on something you were supposed to pass on.
How did I default?
That's why they called it a loan.
Yes.
Why did you not tell them, I do not give loans to government?
But I
the
said-
central bank raises treasury
I
bills.
said it over and over.
So it was personal between you and the president.
It was not personal.
This was between you and the
It
president.
has never been between the president and myself.
Who else in Mobicel knew of this loan?
My finance manager.
And she or he approved it?
He doesn't need to approve it. I'm the CEO.
No, there were two to sign.
Yes.
Yeah, how come you didn't have two to sign? You are the only one who did it
I'm
on
the
that day.
primary signatory.
You changed the mandate to allow
I
you to
did
sign.
not change that mandate for that. If I'm around, I take over. I'm not around, they take over.
And the mandate says two to sign. Why
No,
did
not
it become one?
Not two to sign. If I'm around, I'm the sole signature.
If you are around, you become two.
Yes. No, if I'm around, I'm the sole signature. And if I'm away, there are two signatures.
You were never repaid.
I've never been paid back.
Did you lodge any complaint anywhere else about you being harassed or put under duress to give out 3.6 that was still never paid?
To lodge
Where
a com-
else did you say it?
To lodge a complaint, you have somebody to communicate to. Since the transfer took place, nobody contacted me again. Except Sana, who called me to tell me, the president has to tell me to extend this message to you, that you have to be rest assured we're going to be paid back.
And you knew you were not going to be paid.
Pardon?
Did you have any hope you were going to be paid?
I will take it for granted. For me, if I stick to my word, I believe everybody should stick to his or her own word.
You've been in business long enough to know that when loans are being advanced, there are terms and conditions.
Yes.
Yeah, there is prospect of recovery. In this case, there was nothing written. The only evidence is this transaction. So where was the prospect of you getting repaid?
I'm not getting you.
There is no document to evidence except this transaction, this transfer,
Yeah.
that you loan money to the ex-president.
Yeah. As I said, if I am able to stick to my words, I believe whoever has God-fearing attitude should stick to his or her own word.
I can't get you.
If I'm able to stick to my own words, I believe whoever does the same thing might stick to his or her own word. The persons who were talking to me made it very, very clear to me that it is a loan on behalf of the Gambian government. That's what has even motivated me to go to that level.
So you need the chief of protocol of the president to stand in GT Bank to make you sign the transfer, to legitimize it as a loan.
He came with all the files.
Why was that necessary?
I had never been privy to any document, as I said, except the verbal communications. I only saw the document at the bank.
Mr. Jase, did you have any questions about the integrity of the former president?
No, because I have never dealt
You
with him.
trusted him.
No, I cannot trust him.
Then
I'm
why did you not have doubts about this loan?
Because the officer who spoke to me,
The officer told you
Yes.
you are serving the government of the Gambia.
Yes.
And I'm asking you one more time, what services did you owe the government of the Gambia to the point that somebody is asking you to give 3.6?
I didn't owe them any service.
And what did they owe you? You were not the only businessman with more than 3.6 million. I can tell you that for free. There were other clients who had more money than you did. Why were you targeted?
That question, we should be in better position to answer to that.
But unfortunately, here you don't ask questions, you answer them.
I fully agree.
Yes.
The
Do
reason
you
why I
know
did
why
it,
you were targeted?
no, I have no reason to it. I didn't know. I cannot answer.
I'm going to advance another possibility.
Yes.
Was it possible that you were acting as an intermediary between MGI Swiss and the former president?
Never, ever. It has never happened.
Thank you.
Yes.
Sorry, I don't know whether I heard properly, but did you say that someone referred to you as a Mandinka?
Yes.
Who did?
The guy is, I think it's LB or BG, something like that.
Sorry?
It's an orderly.
You don't know the name of the orderly?
No, not at all. He was talking to me in initials.
Do you agree that the Jasis are Karoninkas?
No, I'm Jassy, not Jassy.
Oh, can you spell it, please?
Jassy.
Spell it.
Because we have never...
Jassey.
Well, let's take it. J. Can you say it again?
Jassey.
Can you?
Jassey.
Jassy.
Jassy.
Yes, that's what I see. Jassy.
Yeah.
Are they not Karoninkas?
I just learned recently, some people were telling me they have Jassis that are Karoninkas, which I never
Sorry?
knew about it.
You just learned recently.
You just learned?
Yes.
But you all the time assume that Jassis were Mandinkas.
Yes, definitely. Honestly speaking.
That is all.
Mr. Jassy, just how many times?
Sorry, perhaps you can help here, counsel. Have you ever, is Jassy a Mandinka name that you know of?
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
There is a Mandinka Jassy.
All right.
But there is also Karoninka Jassy. Jassy. I think the Wolof is Jasse, but the Karoninka have Jassy as well. Mr. Jassy, apart from this 3.6 million, you have given the president money before.
I'm not hearing you, ma.
You have given the president money before.
I
the
never
3.6
I
million.
never did so. It has never happened.
You have not contributed to Yame Foundation for Peace?
That was through the institution. They wrote to our office to seek for donation for some activities, like any other institutions. If you go through our records, you will see.
How much did you donate to Yame Foundation for Peace?
I could not recall unless we go back to our records, to be honest with you. Cannot recall.
How much money did you give General Suleiman Baji?
I've never given a single dime to General Baji, and there's not a single living witness who will come and testify before this commission about that.
Let's forget about living witnesses.
No, I'm just saying, these are things
just answer
questions
my
that are
question.
coming, and I repeated myself.
I think
I've never given a single
Mr.
dime to
Jassy,
General Baji.
Mr. Jassy, I think you should listen more and talk less. You understand? Just listen to my questions.
Okay,
first.
ma'am.
Right.
I believe that my client is really being harassed. My client is answering the question. So to tell him that he should listen more and talk less, I don't think that's fair. Maybe he wants to elaborate on some issues, with all due respect to my learned senior. But I believe that we should give him the opportunity to explain himself so that the facts can be recorded by the commission. But if they say that he should listen he should listen more and talk less. That means they're trying to restrict what he wants to say. And I believe I am urging the Commission to give him the opportunity to explain himself so that the facts, the true facts, can be recorded properly. Thank you.
I'm sure lead counsel will adjust her expressions as we go along. On the other hand, if a witness tends to go on and on and on, it is quite legitimate to correct him. That's all I have to say on that one. You may carry on.
Mr. Jassy, we were talking about the monies you gave General Sol Baji.
Ma, can you speak loudly? I'm not hearing you.
I was asking you questions about the monies you gave General Sol Baji.
Yes.
No? I'd like you to listen to my questions and answer so that we don't prolong this session.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yes, I understand.
Okay. You have given money to General Sol Baji before.
I've never given money to General Sol Baji.
Who have you given money to at State House?
Never, ever.
Apart from the president?
Never ever to anybody at State House.
Objection. Well,
You can go through our bank transaction. There's not a single
Hold
legal witness.
hold it, please. Hold it.
Objection, Honorable Chairman.
Yes.
My learned friend just said, just asked Mr. Jassy a question and said, who did you give money to apart from the president? My client never said that he gave money to the president. That was the last question. He never gave money to the president.
I get what you say, but this is cross-examination. It's quite legitimate. It's not a question. There is no issue concerning double question or leading question here. Because in cross-examination, you may ask leading questions, if that is what you want to raise.
No, what the fact that Mr. Jassy never said here that he gave money to the president, but my learned friend just said, who else did you give money, at the office of the president, apart from the president?
Yeah.
That was not, that never came from the witness, that he gave money to the president. That was not established.
I understand that. I say this is cross-examination. All he has to do is deny it, if he wants to deny it. But the question is legitimate.
I'm sure he will now deny it. Did you donate to the foundation of the first president's, ex-first president's wife?
As I said, through our organization, it's not a personal donation. They always write to us, either the director of the foundation, who will write to all the offices like any other entities in the Gambia, and we do respond with what we have.
Did you see letters written to other institutions apart from yourself?
Pardon?
Did you see letters written to any other company apart from yourself?
I was more concerned about...
Did you see letters written to any other company apart from yourself?
I wouldn't say yes, but I believe so. It does exist.
So let's talk about yourself and what you know. Okay. How much did you donate to the ex-president's wife's foundation?
I've never donated to the ex-president's wife, to the foundation. Yes. And that's through my company.
How much did you donate to the ex-president's wife's foundation?
I cannot recall unless we go through our records, because these are things that I was not even handling.
I'm giving you the opportunity to answer all the questions that arise. You have a contract with MGI in relation to Benin?
I think during the first sittings, those agreements
Please answer my question.
we provided, we do. I think
You had a question, you have an agreement in relation to...
It's an agreement. It's a general agreement which covers most of the country. Where do they work?
Well, that's the agreement that you tendered?
Yes.
It covers Benin as well?
Yes, I think so. Should be. Benin should be part of it.
There's just one thing I want you to clarify regarding these transfers.
Yeah.
The most significant transfer before the 3 transfers that arrived for which you paid at the request of the President, Chief of Protocol and Audley, was in 2014 December for 1.5.
Yes.
After you paid the 3.6 million, there is no other transfer over $1 million in your account.
To Mobicel.
Yes, in your Mobicel Blue account.
Yes.
You did not receive any other payments over 1 million from MGI?
Depending.
Over 750,000.
It depends on the project. Let me give you the narrative. If we provide an invoice of about $1 million, $2 million to MGI, they pay us according to the work progress. We can give them an invoice of $6 million based on project we are implementing for them, and they pay us according to our results. It will not be a bulk payment.
So in 1 month, in June 2015, the work had progressed so much that they paid you made you 3 payments.
Sometimes they do combine. 3 million. They do combine our payments in various countries.
Okay.
They do combine our payments.
I have
Instead
no
of doing
further-
individual payments, they combine all the payments.
It's all right. I have no other questions.
Mr. Jase, one more. The 3.6 million that you loaned to the government, what percentage of your annual revenue was that? And as a corporate, I'm sure you have a policy on how much you can give.
I would say about 10%.
Can I finish my question, please? As a corporate, there is a policy on how much you can give out as corporate social responsibility. Yeah? A certain percentage or whatever. Now, this 3.6 for that particular year, how much was it of your annual revenue?
I would be 10%, probably. Yeah.
Are you sure or are you guessing?
I'm not guessing. I know the cost of the materials, the cost of services, and our revenue should have been that.
No, it's
10%.
not linked to that. It's linked to, okay, do you have a corporate social responsibility policy?
Yes, we do.
You do?
Yes.
Yes. So it's linked to that. You agree an amount or a percentage or a threshold. If you don't have it, maybe you are linking it to the material cost or whatever invoice. But as a corporate, how much can you give to a government in a particular year?
I think you said you have financial rights with 22 years of banking services. Even if you go through the figures, you will know this is not something rational.
Are you answering my question?
No, I try to elaborate, sir.
Yes. So
Yes.
can you answer the question?
I said it and
what
repeated
percentage
it.
do you have?
I repeated it. I was under duress. I have never been willing to pay such amount of money from my company. The conditions surrounding this transfer were to deal with my life or to lose my fortune. I decided to lose the money and stay alive.
So it had nothing to do with a percentage?
No. Do they even know how much I was supposed to get out of it? They needed something, and they thought that we could have provided it to them, whether by hook or by crook. We did it. I had no choice. Even if I had to sell all my properties and put it, I would have done it to save my life. I have a family to take care of. Nobody is taking care of my kids, neither my wife.
And that's a good alternative, yeah, to giving hard-earned 3.6 million to someone who will never repay you.
I would say, who would
I
have...
want to know where the duress part is. It was all on a phone call, and you willingly walked.
The duress part has to do with my
Mr.
life.
Jase, were you ever detained for questioning under any circumstances
Is it
by the
relevant?
former president?
Is it relevant today to tell to this commission I was detained?
I'm asking you.
Sorry,
just want to
sorry.
know.
Now. You are,
Yes, I was
you are
detained.
misstepping. What? Hold it.
I was
You-
detained.
hold it. You don't ask questions here.
I'm not asking questions, sir.
You have just asked one.
I'm explaining.
Don't ask any question.
I'm not asking questions, sir. I'm explaining.
I said don't ask questions. Carry on.
Thank you. Let me repeat the question. Were you detained by the former president in relation to any request for money?
Not directly by the former president.
You say yes or no. Directly or indirectly
Yes,
does not
I
help
was
us.
invited.
Were you invited in relation to a request for money?
I was invited at NIA to discuss about the issue.
It had something to do with a request for money?
They just told me, you got a message. What is your answer to it? And as any good analyst, you would have thought that this is a request. I was there from, I would say, 2 p.m. to 2 a.m. And the DG, the deputy DG, came. And there's one, I don't know, Mr. Krubali, one of the officers. And
How much money was requested in that case?
no, they just told me, you got a request. What is your position about it?
What was the request? Did they
That
want
was
money
about
from
the
you?
3.6 million.
So on this particular 3.6 million, you were detained.
Not detained. I was called to go and detain for, not detained. I was there for hours and asking me the same question. I think it's quite embarrassing to be sitting in one place from 2 p.m. to 2 a.m. And the DDG, who is right now in Mile 2, was communicating with his officers.
So people with authority like that, who can detain you for questioning or invite you for questioning, did they have to tell you you were loaning them money to help the government of the Gambia?
They did not get into that details, but otherwise they told me, as a good son of this country, you should help if you can. It's better for you.
Help.
Yes.
And you thought you were helping.
Against my will, yes. But I prefer to save my life because I knew if I'm still alive, even if I lose $1 billion, I can still live a decent life with my education. Nobody has ever assisted me in my life since I was born.
All right. We look forward to receiving those invoices regarding your services.
They are not invoiced, they are proposal. It's a complete proposal whereby you have the financial component.
Proposals. At the end of it, there is a request for money to be paid,
The
right?
financial component is embedded, but it's a total proposal to set up the gateway in
Whatever
Porto.
you call them. Invoices, proposal. At the end of the day, there is a line item asking for how much you will be paid.
Yes, sir, that's what I'm saying. You have the cost of the equipment, the license, project implementation, and the cost of engineers that are working on, and everything. It's a complete offer we submit, always.
Good. Now, this is my last question to you today.
Yeah.
In all this proceeding, Mr. Jase, did you pick up the phone and tell your lawyer that the government or its agents are asking you for 3.6 million?
He's
At
a
the
living
time.
He's a living witness. He's here, even before I effect the payment.
At the time, did you?
Yes, I did.
Thank you.
He's here.
Can we have that type of letter or document or anything?
Not a letter. I called him. He's here. You can ask him.
Thank you.
Sorry, Mr.
Sorry. I don't know whether I heard properly. So I want to ask you, did you, in answer to questions, say that you gave 3.6 million and it was 10% of your income?
Yes.
He said it's not a test.
No, I mean the total cost of the project. What we gave out, only 10%. 10% was supposed to be our income. I had to manage to pay the suppliers. As I said, I was under duress. I had no other option than to fulfill their request.
He's saying cost.
I see. Well, everything has been recorded.
Yes.
We will discover whether you said 10% of cost or 10% of income.
No. The total, what we gave out, only 10%, I would say, would be an income for our company.
All right, I will ask the question again then.
Yeah.
What percentage of your profits, I'm not saying income now, what percentage of your profits did 3.6 million constitute?
No, the 3.6
If you can work it out now, we'll give you a chance.
The 3.6 million was not a profit. It was a payment we received pertaining to project in Benin. And I had no other option than to use those funds to fulfill their demand. But we managed with our suppliers to get, and we are still paying those suppliers for those materials. We had a credit line with Cisco up to $5 million. Up to $5 million. We have a credit line. Even in Gamtel, we do help them sometimes with the order. Then we regularize our situation.
Apart from what you got from the contract in Benin,
Yeah.
did you have any other income?
Yes, I do consultancies.
Sorry?
I do a lot of consultancies as well.
That is outside the Gambia.
Just outside the Gambia.
Thank you.
Sorry, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Nyasi, I would like you to confirm that these people are your employees, or were your employees at, can you tell me whether they were working for Multimedia Gateway, your company?
Yes.
Or they were working for Mobicel Blue? We have Momodu Lamin Sise.
Yes.
Who was he working for?
Except if I see the contracts.
Who was he working for?
He was working for, I think, for Multimedia Gateway Incorporation.
Do you have an Abdulamin Sise? Abdulamin Sise.
Abdulamin Sise. I could not recall this name. Abdulamin Sise, yes.
You have Joseph Loom?
Joseph Kamara.
Joseph Kamara.
Yes.
Who was he working for?
He was working for Multimedia Gateway Incorporation.
Usman Mbaji.
He was working for Multimedia Gateway Incorporation.
You sent Mr. Adam Ajame, a witness who gave evidence here. You sent him to Guinea-Bissau to work for you there. What work did you send him to do in Guinea-Bissau?
We were setting the art station, the Gateway Art Station in Bissau.
To do what?
To run a gateway there.
Run it how? Specifically how?
To operate a gateway like what MGI was doing here in the Gambia.
When did you send him?
I could not recall, but I think it was on 3 counts or 4 counts. They traveled to Bissau. I cannot recall the date exactly, except if I go
Okay. How much was he paid for this service?
No, it depends on the number of the day. We do pay them based on the per diem rate defined by the Gambian laws. The finance people will be able to say that. I've never interacted with that part of it.
You also sent him to training in Zurich?
I didn't send him to training. It was related to the training to manage the gateway here. That was between MGI and Gamtel. That was not between them and
He
us.
went to Zurich to be trained. What did he, Mr. Adam Ajame, went to Switzerland?
No, they were sent to Berlin,
Berlin.
where Teleswitch manufacture was.
Yes, Adam Ajame,
Yeah.
Omar Nyasi also went.
Salum Jimara,
Omar Nyasi also went.
Omar Nyasi went, and Salim Jimara.
The three of them.
I think it's more than that. CDCC and others. I could not recall, but they should have the list. But
Now
they were
you-
not sent by me. They were sent by MGI in agreement with Gamtel, not by Multimedia, neither by Mobisa.
We don't have any agreement whereby, we haven't seen any agreement with Gamtel whereby you sent these three people on training. Do you have it?
No, I never had it because it was between MGI and Gamtel. Gamtel should be able to provide those details. They are the one who identified those who are supposed to be trained.
You were paying some officers from Multimedia Gateway Incorporation.
I'm not getting that one.
You were paying some officers
Which officers?
in Gamtel.
Never ever. We
Yep.
have never given a single dime to anybody in Gamtel. If they don't have to perform an extra duty at the gateway, if they stay longer than the period they should stay, we define the number of hours they spend there, and as it is required by law to pay them that. But we had
Mr. Jassy,
Yeah.
you just agreed that you were paying Adam Ajame, who was a Gamtel
Never,
officer
ever.
when he went to Guinea-Bissau.
No, as I said, he's not alone. I think 6 or 5 engineers were. The reason why we did so, MGI had to outsource transmission engineers from Senegal. Hence, I'm the head of project. I said, as a Gambian, I prefer to give the opportunity to Gambians. That's the reason why we selected. That selection was not even done by me. It was done by Gamtel management.
It was
by
done
MD
by?
and DMD. They
It was
gave the
done-
list. Pardon?
It was done by who? You
By
sent,
the Gamtel management, not by us.
you're saying Gamtel management
Gamtel management, I said.
sent Adam Ajame to Guinea-Bissau to work on your project?
Not on my project. It was a project that was manned by MGI. Instead of selecting engineers from Senegal or Kenya, we told them they can also perform under our supervision.
told-
And they were not alone that went there. They also went with engineers
So
from...
let me understand, instead of bringing other engineers, they took Gamtel staff and used them in Guinea-Bissau.
No,
Is
we
that
never
what you're
used
saying?
them. We never used them. The selection was done by Gamtel management. There are email correspondence within Gamtel setup.
Which Gamtel manager?
I don't know, from the MD to DMD. I was not involved in that. I was only handling the technical part of things, as I said.
By MD, you meant Babukar Sajan.
I wouldn't say, I wouldn't know. But I knew the decision was made between MGI and Gamtel. Not with Multimedia Gateway, neither
Let
with
me
Mobisa.
look, we have to be clear. You are saying Gamtel management
Yes.
agreed with MGI to send Gamtel staff to work for MGI in Guinea-Bissau.
I think so. Not to work for MGI.
To work for who in Guinea-Bissau?
We identified
To
engineers-
work for who in Guinea-Bissau? Are you saying Gamtel Gambia has a project in Guinea-Bissau?
Gamtel didn't have the project. MGI has the project in Guinea-Bissau.
You were working with some NIA officers.
I have never dealt with any NI officers, except at the art station, where they have their office to perform with Gamtel.
You were working.
No.
I'll give you an opportunity again. Listen to my question.
I have never
You
worked with
listen
NIA.
to my question. You were working with NIA officers to discover frauds you said were being committed on the international gateway.
You can
Is
ask.
that correct?
It's not correct, ma'am. You can ask the officers. I've never boarded a single vehicle with them to go around anybody. They were going with engineers that are working for Multimedia Gateway,
They were going,
around, including engineers from Gamtel and Multimedia Gateway Incorporation. Never ever attended such kind of.
never
Trip.
ever what?
I've never been around with them to check on any fraudulent activities.
I'm
I
not
was too
talking
busy.
about you personally.
Yes.
You are supposed to be the managing director of
Of?
Mobicel Blue Ocean and Multimedia Gateway. MGI,
Yeah.
whether it stood for Multimedia Gateway or MGI Swiss, was working with NIA officers to follow trails of persons alleged to have been committing fraud on the international gateway. Is that correct?
No, ma. The initiative always comes or came from the NIA that will select engineers to go with.
Which engineers did they select?
It depends on them. They knew the people they were working before with. I
What-
just found them at the ACE station. I had nothing to do with them.
So they selected engineers at the Earth Station, and some of these were working for MGI.
Because the equipment they were
And
using,
some of these were working with MGI.
the equipment they were using,
Please answer my
the
question.
Multimedia Gateway Incorporation, yes. Because we were handling the technical part of things.
Now, you had a sign at the Earth Station. You had offices at the Earth Station. Is that correct?
Not personally. We had an open hall.
I'm not talking about you personally. I'm talking about your companies.
Mobicel,
You had offices
Mobicel,
at the Earth Station.
no, due to the nature of our operations, next to the INMC, where we had the monitoring center, the International Network Monitoring Center, the management decided to form a team which is composed by GAMTEL engineers and Multimedia Gateway engineers.
Mr. Jassy,
Yes.
did you have offices at the
I don't have an
at
office
the-
there. I don't have an office there. We were just given a space where to put our equipment.
You had a sign saying MGI at that station.
Pardon?
Is that correct?
Pardon?
There were offices with the MGI signage.
That was for advertisement purpose when they were launching the INMC.
Mr. Jassy, up to 2017, you had offices with the MGI sign board identifying them as offices of MGI.
I was not occupying those offices. As I said, they were put there for advertisement purpose.
When it said MGI, was it Multimedia Gateway or was it MGI Swiss?
No, I believe those who put it there will be able to say. It was an advertisement contract given to a Gambian company by MGI Swiss. We had no hand in that, and everything was designed with the GAMCEL team, the marketing division.
The staff I mentioned
Yeah.
signed MGI when they signed the logbook at GAMTEL. What MGI were they signing for?
I have never set my eyes on that book. They have their logbook.
You were paying an NIA officer called Lamin Jai. Why were you paying him?
I have never paid Lamin Jai for anything. He's still alive.
You worked with Lamin Jai.
I have never worked with him. Never ever. He was working with the GAMTEL team.
He was?
Working with the GAMTEL team.
Was
I
working
found
with
him
the
there
Gambian team.
working with GAMTEL team because he was the officer attached to GAMTEL.
The Gambian team.
GAMTEL,
GAMTEL.
yes. We found him there working with GAMTEL.
Why were you paying him?
Pardon?
Why were you paying
I've
him?
never paid him, ma'am.
Okay, I'm going to show you a copy of a check made out to Lamin Jai, an NIA officer. Can you show Mr.
Show
Chairman?
us, please. ma'am.
This check was given to Lamin Jai because when they do their patrol, they say, when they do their patrol, the night patrols, with a team of 10, 12 engineers, they said they do need food, fuel, something like that. He sent a request officially to GAMTEL, and GAMTEL told them, we are not manning the gateway. Technical part of the management is with Multimedia Gateway.
GAMTEL told them what?
him according to his own words. He went to Gamtel Managing Director, who told him, you better go to Multimedia Gateway. These are the people you are working with when it comes to fraud detection. He came to my office, and I told him, let him prepare an invoice and bring it to the finance department, which they did. And we issued the check. I wanted to issue the check. He said no, because he would not be able to cash it. It has to be issued to his name. And some of the Gamtel engineers were present there when I was issuing this check, because every night they have to go on patrol for fuel and feeding.
How often do you give him a check for fuel and feeding?
I could not recall. Sometimes I'm not around. If they send the same request, the guy who is here usually do pay them. It depends on their request.
Can you collect the check, please? Mr. Chairman, may I apply to have it admitted? Mr. Jassy. I'm giving you an opportunity to tell the truth to this commission, because we are going to retrieve all these payments.
Ma,
Apart from, I haven't asked you a question. That's why I say you should listen more. Apart from Mr. Laminjai, who else were you paying at NIA or Gamtel or any public office?
I've never paid a single cent to anybody being at NIA or at Gamtel.
That's what you said before.
And that's the fact.
No further questions, Mr. Chairman. We have, yes.
Are you applying to tender?
Yes, I've applied to have it admitted. We are retrieving all the originals. We will have them available to the commission. But since I have showed him this check, just for the record, Mr. Jassy, that is your signature.
Pardon?
For the record, that is your signature.
Yeah, I did sign it. But there are various payments that were not even signed in my presence.
Okay, you signed it.
Similar requests.
I said, this is-
And I think the commission should be able to find those ones as well.
Mr. Chairman.
Sorry, unless you are objecting to this check.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, I'm objecting.
You are, okay,
Yes.
hold it one
Thank you.
minute, please. And yes, Mr. Bai, I'll hear you. I have not admitted the check yet. If you have
Very
an
well. I'm
objection,
grateful,
yes,
Mr. Chairman.
carry on.
Mr. Chairman, my learned friend has applied to tender. I believe it's a photocopy or a scanned copy, because I don't know. That's not original. That document is not original. A check cannot be that big. And she did not lay the foundation. Yes. We don't know about the whereabouts of the
Have you
original.
looked at-
Have you seen it? Do you want to take a look?
Just looking at, yes, I can look at it, but just looking at it, I know it's not an original copy.
please take a look at it.
Yes, Mr. Chairman, thank you.
I think he's saying.
Mr. Chairman, my difficulty is that I cannot differentiate whether it's a scanned copy or a photocopy. And my learned friend has not laid any foundation as to where the original check is. She should have made an application and summoned the bank to produce the original check, the leaf. But now she's trying to tender the the photocopy without any foundation as to the whereabouts of the original. That will be very unsafe to admit. at this point. So I urge this honorable...
Sorry, carry on.
Yes, I urge the Commission to reject the document.
Give it back to Council. What do you have to say, Council?
I called
Give
upon
it-
to reply, Mr. Chairman.
Give it back to Council.
Mr. Chairman, well, I'm quite taken aback at the submission. However, clearly this witness has been informed by this commission that he's considered to be a close associate of the ex-president has admitted, that this is his signature, this is his check, and he has given the circumstances why he issued this check. What is admitted does not require proof. To suggest that I need to lay a foundation when I'm not called upon to prove the existence of this check, with respect to my learned friend, is not supported by any rule of procedure that I'm aware of, or rule of evidence that I'm aware of. This copy of the check I seek to admit is being tendered based on the admission of the witness. No foundation could be more certain or more stronger than the admission of the person through whom I am seeking to tender the document. As the Commission pleases.
Two things are clear, and it is that counsel for Mr. Jassy is not himself certain whether this check here is a scanned or photocopied check. But more importantly, this check was handed over to the witness under cross-examination. And we have not had any word from him as to the nature of this check, whether it is original or copy. Now, if there was any objection on the part of the witness, surely the witness would have expressed the objection. And definitely, I am of the view that he has admitted that this check belongs to him. The check that we have here belongs to him. And not only to his company, but he himself signed the check twice. One as signatory, and the other in order to open the check, which is a cross-check. Therefore, the objection is overruled, and this check will be admitted.
As the Commission, please.
Bank, Guarantee Trust Bank, check number 013-87776, dated 9th August 2016, issued to Lamin Jai and drawn on Multimedia Gateway Incorporation, account number 116-076-1110. Admitted mark MS 273.
Mr. Chairman, the day is well advanced. I have no further questions for this witness. However, I would like the witness and counsel to be put on notice that we have GAMTEL staff testifying tomorrow in case he wishes to attend and cross-examine them. At 12 noon would be reasonable. 12 noon.
All right, we'll rise. We'll be back tomorrow at 10 o'clock.
Extra Bonanza.
Extra Bonanza.
20 major winners every 20th from February to July.
Comium 2020. Recharge $100 credit or more to be one of the 20 lucky winners. Every month, 20 winners.
15 winners will get rice, sugar, and cooking oil. There will also be a winner for a refrigerator, win flat screen TV, win a generator, win a motorbike, or an iPhone 6.
Comium Extra Bonanza. Draw starts 20th of every month. Live on GRTS and Paradise FM. Comium 2020.
Terms and conditions apply.
Comium. We are better together.
Moro
Ibanya
Mbijango
Doko benya
Bakandro
Ko ngalla janna kibaro moy kalka sola bagaso wafu
ka fontelle ko solar enterprise fo fendi nabe dendi solar la fannala la solar la bundal ndella ko do kuwo ke mole janka solar joran kendol natala dum min nata na ko fanandiya birin Gambia jam fo Gambia e bantala nga bagasol samba be ton ka do ku kendo be ke mo be ni nga do ko ke momo ndi en ka sanji kilin garantie dilale nyin kama ko la do ko lanno si waran ni tema bagaso min bijay fofe nabe den ni sola la bundala la sola la fannala a bagaso sifa be bijay latini nan pumping system ndella fanan ko ke mole min be den ni na ko ni dandal ni kordal ka jiodi alla nin ka lampo fanan sika ka diala wo pompin wolbe den nin gadinol nin ku kotal ni la jiko ni la fanga bela laytini wolom dimbani ku kotal danna mu sola enterprise tin ko la kali
fama mu sola
fo fembe den ni sola la hajo la janne be loro
wato tenta bul baga solta
adum fana be ku fula la leje bunda fula fana be mbulle fanga kabona ndami anin dula ba fula safonya America ni Europe na fanga kabona wolta dum doron no moto min ka fenkendol na te sola la baga sol kana te nyamba ko kanya
abanta baga solta
ngata
Farm Fresh li marché bu nga xamné la ñun ñepp ko yor képp ku am téléphone am internet rek mun nga fa jëndé ak www.farmfresh.gm mun nga fa tane jënd lépp li nga bëgg ak ya xam nduga bi lu munti doon jën nen la légume la ganaar la lépp lu munti doon Farm Fresh buñ la musa jaay dara lu lax lépp luñ la jaay rek lu fresh la may doon té li yépp nak ci biir réew mi lañ koy liggéeyé li dara gën ko neex mun nga jënd saa yu la neexé ak fo munti nekk ñu indi la ko ba sa buntu kër si njëg bu gën a yomb képp ko bëgg a jokkoo ak ñun 8906 592 wala 677 602